안녕하세요.
Hi everyone.
Hi guys, it's Ava. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the items that we use to store our precious photo cards. In this video, I will talk about binders, collect books, binder pages, as well as photo card sleeves. In the video, I will go over brands that I use, ones that I've tried and no longer use, and my personal preferences and what I look for when it comes to these items. I think we all have different criteria that we look for when we choose to purchase these items. And it obviously varies from person to person, but there are certain things that I care a lot about and then some things that I don't mind quite as much, and I'll talk about it briefly in this video. Disclaimer, I'm not an expert. I have not tried every single brand and version out there. I will only be talking about items that I'm familiar with and feel like I've used enough to be able to confidently say what is good or not good about the product. So with that, let's begin. Alright, so we'll start off with binders, and I feel like it's only appropriate to start off with the A4 binder, which is probably the most commonly used item to store photo cards. These are super accessible if you live in the US, or I assume other parts of North America. You can find this in any Target, Walmart, drugstore, you name it. These are obviously really good if you are trying to store a lot of photo cards. I personally use A4 binders for my OT 1317 and Hoshi collections because they are very, very large. I don't actually have a lot of experience with different brands just because I stick to Avery. I have tried the Target version ones and they were fine, but I felt like they weren't super durable. Avery is a pretty common brand. They're quite sturdy. I have had to change out my binders before from natural wear and tear, but for the most part, I feel like they've served me well. I typically go for 3 to 4 inch binders in a white color, and I personally like the easy slant design where the clasps and rungs are not in the middle, but off to the side, and then they use this one clasp mechanism. You push the button / lever, and it opens really easily. I like this setup where it's off to the side because then your pages can lie more flat, but they do make designs where these rungs are more in the middle. Again, nothing super special, just kind of your normal average binder, most effective for very large collections. Next up, we have the A5 binder. I feel like these have become very, very popular in recent years, and that is probably because they are an ideal size for most collections. So if you are collecting a member or a group and you don't have that many photo cards, these are a really good size because they can accommodate smaller collections but also hold larger ones to an extent pretty well. I currently use A5 binders for the vast majority of my collections. Here you will see that I have it for Yua, I have it for P1 Harmony and a Rosé. I also store my Sungwoo collection, part of my treasure collection, and DK as well. They make a lot of different varieties and styles when it comes to A5 binders. Here you will see that I have one that is probably the most popular, and that's the Beyond D binder. These are really popular because 1, they're pretty cheap, and 2, they're very accessible. You can easily buy this on K-Town for You, whereas some of these other binders you have to buy through Naver, so you have to have like a proxy or warehouse do it for you. The Beyond D binder is pretty simple in design. It's made out of this cloudy, opaque plastic cover. There's a pocket in the front where you can put a Polaroid or a photo card, and then it uses the classic 6-ring layout. And it also has this tab to close the binder. I know people have differing opinions about keeping this tab in and how it can like damage the back of the photo cards for the ones that are on the external side. I've personally never had that issue, but I also don't stuff my A5 binders. I imagine if you had a lot of pages and it was really pushing up against this, it could damage it. I also do keep like a back page for this reason. So this takes any damage that there is, but if you look at it, you also don't see any imprints, so I don't know. Anyways, this is the Beyond D binder. I used to use this a lot more, but over the past year or so that I've been using A5 binders, I've come to realize that I'm not the biggest fan. It's again very classic, very nice, but I don't like the carrying capacity. I don't think it's the thickest of the A5 binders, so it doesn't hold as many photo cards as I would like it to. And in general, I find that Beyond D products aren't the best quality, so I've kind of shifted away from Beyond D, primarily because I don't love their binder pages, but also because I've just found other binders that I like more as well. Let's get to this style of binder. This is a PVC zip binder, and you will see this a lot on Korean K-pop YouTubers. That's how I discovered them. They are made of a PVC plastic, which is very durable, but of course is not safe for photo cards. So if you are storing things, one, don't use official photo cards, and two, sleeve them. It also comes with a pocket up front here, but this pocket's actually smaller than the Beyond D one, so you can't actually put photo cards in sleeves before putting them up front. This is not a real photo card, it is a freebie. They come in lots of colors in terms of this outer edge, and lots of brands make them. The ones that I can list off the top of my head are Second Mansion and LUCALAB. I have this one in a pink. It holds my rosé collection. The nice thing about this one is that it actually comes with this plastic pocket up front, so you can stick something to act as your cover. It also uses a 6-ring mechanism, and I find that this holds a little bit more photo cards than the Beyond D one. So that is what it looks like. The back is pretty standard. This one is a PVC glitter, so it's sparkly. And then it also zips, so it's quite protected if you plan on bringing this with you to places. It can keep all of your photo cards obviously protected, and there's also a little hole in here that you can use to put a keychain. The Beyond D one also has that as well. So yeah, I quite like it. It's not for everyone, it's a very specific design, but I do think it is very, very nice and portable, as well as being very protective. This is the third type of A5 binder that I use, and it is the composition book style binder that LUCALAB makes. It does come in a variety of colors, but for the most part, I think that they're all sold out, so you can only buy the black one currently. But in the past, they have made a pink, a blue, and a red one. This one is the thickest of all the A5 binders that I own, so it can hold the most photo cards. And I also just really like the design of it. It's very straightforward. It's made of cardboard, and it's a very well-designed cardboard. LUCALAB also makes a PVC cover, so you can slip this on top of the binder to protect it, keep it sort of water resistant, and use it to decorate things. So that's what I have on here, and I really like it. I've gone ahead and stuck some things on the inside, and then I've gone ahead and designed the front as well. As you can tell, it also comes with this little tabby thing, and it closes your binder. I also don't find that this is damaging to my photo cards. I might actually put in a back page though, just in case, but I think that's also because this binder is not super duper full. So yes, this is the LUCALAB composition book binder. I really like it. Obviously, if you don't like the design, then don't go for it, but I think it's really fun and it gives a certain aesthetic to this collection. All right, now we get to the collect book, and I actually have these in various sizes. Let's start off with the one pocket collect book. So here we have a variety of little binders / collect books, whatever you want to call them. Collect book is a term that basically refers to binders that come with pages that are, for the most part, already part of the binder. Most of the time they're made out of PVC, and you can either find them from certain stationery companies, but fansites also tend to make collect books that are specific to groups. So here I do have this Stacy one, which was obviously made by a fan. I joined a group order for this, so no, I don't know where you can buy it, if it is still available to be purchased. And it's nice because it holds my Stacy collection. And the nice thing about these one pocket ones is that because they're only one photo card per page, you don't really have to worry about like a layout. I like them because they're very durable. PVC in general is a very sturdy plastic. Obviously not safe for your photocards, so if you do put photocards in these, please leave them, but they can be brought with you to places, they last a very long time, and you don't have to worry about them being like super scratched up. So yes, I quite like them. A lot of the times they do come with like little holes on the spine so you can put in little keychains, which I have done right over here. The ones that I have on this side are ones that are made by stationery companies. So we have Okiki, which designed these two. I've got my Jimin collection and some extra Hoshi photo cards in these two. And then I've got this one from Ducky World, which is owned by Sanrio. And I really like this one because it's like a retro style. It's also very thick, which is very nice. And in here I have my Jisun collection. I also have this from Beyond D, and this is actually a collect book where you can remove the pages. So it's more of a binder than a collect book per se, but I still call it a collect book. And here's my Oogie collection, and she is stored in these one pocket pages essentially. So yes. The other fun thing about collect books is that a lot of the times the front cover will have an opening, so you can put in a photo card behind it, or it can just like look into the first page of the book. These are a really fun way to store small collections. They're obviously not feasible if you have like a million photo cards. For instance, I would never ever store my Hoshi collection in only collect books because I would have to have like 20 of them. But they are fun. They're very portable, of course, and they're really cute. I don't know, I'm a huge fan of collect books, so I am a strong advocate for using them if it suits your needs. Okay, let's talk about binder pages. We'll start off with the A4 binder, and I've actually gone through lots of different types of brands before settling on the ones that I currently use, which is Guardhouse Shield. So here I've got a lot of Ultra Pro pages because I used to use Ultra Pro Platinum pretty religiously. I still do use them for certain things, but I no longer use their 9-pocket pages, which are the ones that are on the bottom here. In this box, I just have a bunch of ones that I've used like once before sitting in here because I went through this whole thing where I repaged all my Hoshi and OT13 binders. They are a pretty good brand. They're very protective, they're very clear, and they're pretty cost efficient if you buy them in bulk from Amazon. But the one thing that I'm not a huge fan of is how wrinkly the pages are. And I don't know if that's because they're inconsistent with the ones that they produce, but if you look at it, you can just see that it's like kind of wrinkly. This is actually a pretty good one. They have ones that are like more wrinkly down there. And as someone who does own a lot of expensive photo cards, I don't want to be putting them into pages that are not uber protective. It's also kind of an aesthetic thing because when I flip through my binder, I don't want to have them look kind of warpy and bended because of the page that they're sitting in. So I no longer use these, but they are a very good brand, and for the most part, if you're not bothered by it, I don't think that it's a huge turnoff. The other two types of pages that I have from Ultra Pro, and I have them in bulk because they were cheaper to get them in bulk and they were on sale at one point, but I have this 3-pocket page which holds postcards that fit a 4x6 size. They're a little bit larger than 4x6, so they hold them perfectly, even if I put them in sleeves. And then this is their 4-pocket page. This holds cards that are 3.5 by 5.25, so this is what it looks like. Again, the pages are kind of wrinkly, not the biggest fan of the quality, but they're very easy to get, and because I don't have a lot of larger inclusions, I don't use these as much as I do with the 9-pocket pages, so I'm okay with them being a little bit wrinkly. Alright, getting next to just some miscellaneous other pages. I've gone through lots of different brands and sizes for like larger inclusions. Here is a BCW 2-pocket page. I don't use this as much anymore because I don't like how small the page is. It's actually a little bit smaller than your standard A4 page, and again, it just kind of irks me a little bit that it's not quite even, but it does hold very large postcards. I don't know what the exact dimensions are, but you can tell that it's obviously quite large and quite thick, so they're good for larger inclusions. This is a really old one that I have from forever ago that I just have kept. Here we have another 2-pocket page. This one is actually bigger than a normal A4 page, and that is because it is a British brand. I don't remember the exact seller that I got it from, but it's the perfect size for the Anode individual mini posters, and that's the only reason I bought it. I think I bought like a 10 pack where there's like 10 pages. I used a few and I just still have a few remaining. Yeah, they're really good if you need it to store large inclusions, but for the most part, I don't really grab these too often. They are a fantastic brand. The plastic is really great quality and the design is really, really top notch. And then I've got these various, I don't even know what to call them. I don't even know what brand they are. They are, per what it says on the side, they are done well. And I think I got these two from Amazon. This is a 2-pocket page, but it holds 4x6 postcards. The reason I also have this in addition to the Ultra Pro ones is because these are horizontally oriented. So if I only need horizontal lying postcards, I'll reach for these because sometimes I want to store them the way that they're meant to be looked at. This one is a 3-pocket page, very similar to the 3-pocket page that you saw for Ultra Pro. It does hold a bit of a larger inclusion for this one up top, I believe. And it has this funny little pocket here that can sometimes store like slimmer inclusions, so like a mini bookmark, door tag, sticker, things like that. Finally, I have this miscellaneous bag of 4-pocket pages. I got these at Office Depot and they are pretty much the exact same as the Ultra Pro pages. They just are a little bit more spaced out in terms of design. I like them because they're smoother and they lie flat, but the plastic is not as clear as Ultra Pro, which is also true for these kind of miscellaneous pages. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the plastic's like not super crystal clear. It's just like a little bit more cloudy. Again, very minute, not super noticeable, but just something to keep in mind. Okay, finally we get to Guardhouse Shield. So this is a pretty new brand to me still. I discovered them maybe like a handful of months ago, and I use them for their 9-pocket pages. I really like them. The plastic is quite thick, it is very clear, and the pages lie super duper flat. So this is a brand that I'm a huge fan of because I use 9-pocket pages 95% of the time. I wanted a brand and a page that I really like, and Guardhouse Protect meets all of those criteria. They're also relatively easy to find. I would buy them on eBay because you can find them for cheaper on eBay than you can on Amazon, I believe. And I bought them in the 100 box because I needed a lot. So yes, I really like this brand. They are my favorite pages so far. So yes, that is this. They also do make other sizes as well. I haven't tried those yet. All right, next up are the A5 binder pages. So we have a few brands here. Let's go ahead and just talk about 4-pocket pages specifically first. These for the most part are all the same size. Amifa makes ones that are just like a little bit bigger than your standard size. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but if you line them up, you'll see that they're just a little bit wider. For that reason, they also store photocards that are a little bit bigger. So if you're looking for pages that fit like the big 17 concert photo cards from Japan, or just like bigger photo cards in general, Amifa is a very good brand for that. They are Japanese and you cannot actually buy them directly online. You have to buy them on Mercari Japan. And the reason for that is because Amifa is like a big chain store in Japan. However, they don't sell things online. You have to physically go inside the store to buy them. That being said, these pages are very cheap. They're like 100 yen, which is roughly $1 US. However, because resellers tend to mark up the price when you buy them on Mercari Japan, usually you can find this for like 3 to 5 packs for $5 to $10, I would say. Still a very good price. And if you don't know anybody in Japan that can like go into the store to buy them for you, it's a pretty nice alternative. This is in the simple chic clear pocket, and it's a very basic A5 page. All right, here we just have some various 4-pocket pages. I have been in the search for the perfect 4-pocket page for A5 binders, and I'm still hunting. The reason for that is because a lot of these tend to be double-sided, which I'm not the biggest fan of. The Amifa one is also double-sided. I forgot to mention that. Here we have brands like Second Mansion. We have one of this. We have, what is this? This is Iconic, and then we have Beyond D. They are all roughly 1,600 to 2,500 won. They do go on sale quite a bit, so you can find them for a little bit cheaper oftentimes. In general, I would say quality-wise, Beyond D is on the bottom end. I don't like the plastic that they use. It's kind of grippy. It's kind of not smooth, and it doesn't feel really nice. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like it's something that you actually have to like touch yourself to feel the difference, but in general, Beyond D is probably my least favorite binder page. They are single-sided, which is nice, and it's probably also why they're a little bit cheaper, but I don't like them. I bought these like a year ago when I did my big video on like binders and like setting up A5 binders, and I have not bought a pack since because, again, I'm just not a huge fan. They used to make pages that felt nicer, but at some point they switched whatever plastic they were using in their design. So yeah, there's that to take a note of. If you are someone who owns older Beyond D pages, there is a little bit of difference in their manufacturing quality and design. These three brands are all double-sided, and they're all basically the same price. I think they all retail for $2,500. Again, you can find them on sale sometimes. They are double-sided, so if that's something that you're looking for, that's nice for that reason. They're all pretty much similar in terms of quality. I don't think one really stands out in particular. In general, I do think Second Mansion makes maybe nicer ones. They tend to lie a little bit more flat, but other than that, they're all pretty comparable. I'm still looking for an A5 page that is single pocket and has nice smooth plastic. So if you do know a brand, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, these are really great. I will show you actually one of them. So the other thing that's nice about these brands is that the pages peel off really easily for the most part. Like you just have to tug it a little bit. Whereas I feel like whenever I try to open my Beyond D pages, I'm always ripping the sides because the plastic is adhering to one another. So these pages are double-sided, meaning that they have two pockets on top that you can open into to put two different photo cards in, and then same deal for the bottom, except obviously you just put your photo card in on the side that it is. I don't know if that made any sense, but yeah. So photo card, pocket, and then when you're putting photo cards in the top pocket, just make sure that you're putting them in the right slot because there's two. And then this is the back. It's kind of the same deal. Voila. Sorry if I'm talking very quickly. I just want to keep this video relatively short, so hopefully that is the case. The other thing I'll mention is that all of these binder page companies and brands do make different sizes. So we have the one pocket page, the two pocket page, and not pictured is the two pocket page that is longitudinally oriented for like skinny bookmarks, stickers, things like that. Again, all of these brands make them. They tend to be the same price as a four pocket page. They tend to also not sell out as quickly because less people are in need of these. These ones are specifically from Beyond D. Okay, finally we get to photo card sleeves, which is actually one of my favorite like photo card accessories to talk about, just because I think they're really fun and I have a lot of strong opinions about this. I am currently using these three for my A5 binders, and then I'm using Dragon Shield for my A4 binders. Dragon Shield is a brand that I've been using for a really long time. They make large sleeves that measure approximately 2.5 by 3.5 inches or 63 by 88 millimeters. They are my favorite brand in terms of quality, accessibility, and protectiveness. They are expensive though, so that is something to note, but they're my go-to when it comes to A4 binder pages, and I probably won't ever change this. The A5 binders, for the most part, unless you're using Amifa, can only handle slimmer sleeves. So the Dragon Shield sleeves will not fit into most A5 binder pages. I have three in front of me here. This is one that I've probably talked the second most on my channel about. It's the BCW board game sleeves. I still stand by these. I think they're a great quality and they're very accessible. You can find this on Amazon, you can find it on eBay, and if you live in the US, it's probably the easiest one to obtain. But that being said, they are a bit more expensive than these two, which is what I've basically switched to at this point. I currently use popcorn sleeves and Mayday games. This one's Korea based. This one is, I think, based in the US. I'm not sure because I purchased neither of these myself. I joined group orders for both of them and I bought like a million packs, so I think I'm set for life. They are the same size. They're 56 by 87 millimeters and they are the exact same thickness. They are 90 microns in thickness, which is a very, very respectable quality. For those of you who use one and not the other and want to know the difference, there really is none. I use them interchangeably. If anything, I would say maybe I like popcorn a little bit better just because I feel like they adhere to the photocard just like a touch more snug. If I absolutely had to pick between the two, I probably would go with popcorn, but I'm happy with both of them. They do come in 50 packs, so that's something to note. And I think they usually cost like either 1,000 to 1,600 won for a 50 pack. And I think Mayday game sleeves are about the similar price. So yes, I think that they are a great, great photocard sleeve for a very good price. So would highly recommend either of these two. That actually marks the end of this video. I just realized I didn't mention one thing when I was talking about these products, and is that whenever you buy any item, especially if it's a brand that you're not familiar with, be sure to look for PVC-free, archival safe, acid-free, because those are the things that can damage photocards. If you see that they're made from clear polypropylene, that's absolutely okay. Most photocard sleeves and binder pages are made from that material, but it's really, really important that you're getting things that are PVC and acid-free, and if they're archival safe, that means that they will preserve and maintain the integrity of the item that's inside without damaging it. If you're buying anything that's from like a major brand, so like Ultra Pro, BCW, Popcorn, Mayday, those brands, you can be pretty confident that if you're buying something that it's going to be all of those things that I just mentioned. But if you're like exploring a different brand, a new brand, a smaller brand, make sure that they have those things listed on there. And if they don't, reach out and ask them before buying it, because the last thing you want to do is to buy something that's going to damage your very expensive photocard. Yeah, nobody wants that. So yes, do your research before you buy it, but also know that at the end of the day, the best way to really figure out what you want is to like try it here and there. So buy things in small quantities, test it out, see if you like it, and then if you do like it, commit to it. Don't like jump the gun and buy like a million of a certain item at once. So that is my video on binders, photocard sleeves, and binder pages. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will try my best to answer. I am also planning on doing a Q&A video soon, so if you have any questions you want to ask me about K-pop, collecting, things like that, feel free to put them in the comments. You are also welcome to ask me things that are not related to that, like if you have any burning questions about like, I don't know, anything that's not related to K-pop. I may or may not answer them depending on how personal they are, but feel free to be curious and ask your questions. I know that I said that I would do one a really, really long time ago. I just never got around to doing it, so this is your chance. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
준비! 시선! 시작! 여기서 문제! 5마리 호랑이 중 시베리안 호랑이는 몇 번일까요?
시베리안 야생 수컷
그렇게 호랑이라고 외치고 다니시는 호시 씨 몇 번일까요?
정답은
2번! 바꿀 기회 드릴 수 있는데
아니요. 대한민국의 호랑이는 시베리안 호랑이입니다.
2번 주인공은요 마석에 사시는 권순영 씨였습니다. 네, 아쉽게도 2번은